In the green valleys of Navarre, near the border of France and Spain, lies a cave carved by water and time. A cavern so vast and strange that locals once called it the Cathedral of the Devil. A place of shadows and echoes, where legends whisper of fire, chants, and forbidden gatherings. And this place is Zugarramurdi, the village of witches. Welcome, step closer, for the veil is thin, and the echoes of the past still linger in the caves of Zugarramurdi. Here the whispers tell of witches, of midnight gatherings, of dances with the devil beneath the stone. Centuries ago, the flames of the Inquisition burned, but the legends never died. Now let us descend into the shadows of Zugarramurdi. The caves of Zugarramurdi stretch nearly 120 meters, with natural arches soaring overhead like a giant temple. For centuries, villagers told stories of what happened inside. On nights of the full moon, fires lit up the darkness, music echoed against the walls, and crowds gathered for what they called the akelarre, the witches' Sabbath. They spoke of feasts with bread, wine, and roasted meats, of men and women dancing in circles through the night, of chants that honored not Christ, but an ancient figure they called akelarres, the black billy goat. And while some said this was the devil himself, others believed it was a remnant of older Basque traditions, fertility rites, and pagan ceremonies that had survived long after Christianity took root. Regardless, in the eyes of the Church, these gatherings were heresy, and by 1608, the rumors of witchcraft in the caves of Zugarramurdi were spreading across the Basque region. So by 1609, the Spanish Inquisition opened a formal investigation, and they sent Inquisitor Juan de Valle Alvarado into Navarre to gather proof of accusations and collect confessions. Soon hundreds were named as witches, accused of attending Sabbaths in the Zugarramurdi caves, flying through the air or making pacts with demons. Then, in 1610, the Spanish Inquisition transferred its investigations and judicial proceedings from the rural village of Zugarramurdi to the city of Logroño, which served as the Inquisition's northern regional tribunal and administrative center for the Kingdom of Navarre and surrounding Basque territories. This move allowed the Inquisition to conduct formal trials under its centralized authority, away from the emotionally charged atmosphere of the local villages, and to stage a highly public auto de fe, a ritualized act of penance and punishment. More than 7,000 people across the Basque country were investigated. Though most were released, 53 were imprisoned, and 11 were condemned to die. So on November 7th, 1610, before a crowd of nearly 30,000 spectators, the Inquisition staged the auto da fe. 6 prisoners who refused to repent were burned alive. Another 5 who had died in prison were burned in effigy. The names of the condemned included Maria de Echachut, Graciana Zara, and Maria Bazdan, women whose stories were reduced to ash in the fire of the Inquisition. The records of the trials survive, and when digging deeper, you see that they paint a chilling picture, a picture created during hours of torture. One accused woman described the Sabbath in detail. They gathered in the caves with men and women. They danced. They kissed the goat's hand and foot. They feasted as though it were a wedding. Another spoke of ointments made from strange herbs and fat, used to fly through the night. Others confessed to baptizing children in the name of the devil, or to summoning storms that destroyed crops. Yet historians note that many of these confessions were given under torture, or shaped by leading questions from the inquisitors. The line between memory and suggestion blurred, and ordinary acts of folk medicine or gatherings became evidence of witchcraft. But what happened in Zugarramurdi was not unique. Across Europe, the early 17th century was marked by fear of witches, and the Basque trials were among the largest. However, unlike many inquisitions, this one caused doubt even within the church. Inquisitor Alonso de Salazar Frias, who participated in the trials, later wrote, "I have not found the slightest proof that a single act of witchcraft has actually occurred." He came to believe the entire witch craze was built on rumors, fear, and false confessions. His skepticism helped slow the tide of witch trials in Spain, though for those already condemned, it was far too late. So, what was real in Zugarramurdi? Did villagers gather in the caves for pagan rites, or were they simply meeting to share food, music, and wine, a tradition later twisted into evidence of witchcraft? Perhaps the akelarre was never as dark as the Inquisition claimed, but the caves remain stained by the memory of those who perished in its shadow. Even today, visitors walk through the Zugarramurdi caves and feel the weight of history. The silence inside seems heavy, as if it remembers chants that no one dares to repeat. Every summer, on the night of St. John, fires are still lit in the village. The people feast, dance, and sing, a celebration of life and light. Yet the echoes of the old accusations linger, the reminder that joy too was once condemned as heresy. Zugarramurdi is no longer the village of witches. But the trials of 1610 remain a scar in history, where hundreds were accused, dozens imprisoned, and 11 condemned to flames. The caves today are open to tourists, but to many they are still sacred. Not to the devil, but to memory. To those who suffered in the fires of fear, and to the legends that transformed them into something more than human. And so, the witches of Zugarramurdi continue to dance, not in shadows, but in the stories that will never let them die. Thank you for venturing beyond the veil with us. If you enjoyed the video, then like, subscribe, and join the watchers. The shadows have more secrets to reveal. Until next time.